Welcome back, and we're having a conversation with Honorable Ibrahim Itodo, former chairman, Interparty Advisory Council, and we're looking at, the Kogi Governorship election, a post-mortem. And in between, when we went on break, Waraki has called in from Abuja. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Ilori.
Good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Good morning, Itodo. I'm calling you from Abuja. About the election of Kogi State, I have 3 tenants in my house. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, I have 3 tenants in my house. All happen to be from Kogi State.
Okay.
Two of them are from PDP candidates, and 1 for APC. And they returned. Both of them returned yesterday. We have a common chat. I asked them how far about the election. All of them said it was peaceful. I said, that? So, and I asked the PDP, the 2 men, I said, okay, are you happy with the match of Ododo? He said, yes. I said, but I had information that there was a manipulation in some of the units in that area. I said, no, it was free and fair election. But for somebody to come on air that there was no election, it baffled me because I have 3 tenants in my house. 2 are PDP. If those 2 tenants agree with me there was an election, where was that man or the person who now said there was no election in Kogi State? I think it is hard time. We should come together to agree to support who emerges as the governor of that state, to know how to develop that state, not by agreement the other way around. So because Itodo can't be here and tell us lies, he's telling us the truth, confirmed by the 2 tenants I have at home, which is an opposition party. So, me, election hold according to my own tenant. They are from Kogi, and even is from in Ghana. One of them. Anybody at home now would have even been there to speak with you people. So I don't know how those, because Nigeria, it is hard for Nigeria to accept defeat so that we should move forward. That is my take. Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you very much for calling in, Mr. Waraki from Abuja there. Honorable Itodo, very well put, I think, because, quite frankly, we know what Nigerians mean when, of course, there was an election in Kogi State, but it's the Nigerian euphemism. It's probably his own way of saying that he's not satisfied at all when he said that every Nigerian can read that. Of course, there was an election, and we've been getting testimonies. Yeah. We covered it live. Everybody saw it. But probably by that, he meant that there were particulars about it that were unfavorable to him. And that is what, unfortunately, you've analyzed it very well, Honorable Itodo, that we need to get in with the spirit of sportsmanship. Only one person will win in an election like this, and everybody else has to, come around, just like Mr. Waraki calling in from Abuja has said. That is the way to go, but I shouldn't say unfortunately, but as it is, people can have their say. And if they want to, they can take it all the way to the courts, wasteful as that exercise oftentimes turns out to be, although not exclusively, it needs to be said. It's just that you've explained it, that it's so wasteful. And if they could just, I really like your round table idea. If only people were listening and could get together around a round table and let's thrash this thing out and let's all come together and move on and make progress. Mr. George in Ikeja has called in, so let me just get him as well before coming over to you, Alhaji Itodo. Okay, go ahead, Mr. George.
Good morning, Gloria, and good morning to the guests.
Good morning.
Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you.
Dino Melaye that said elections did not hold. He was a candidate in that election, but he himself did not vote.
He didn't vote.
He didn't,
and when he was pressed on it, he said it was an immaterial question and the answer was immaterial. I didn't quite understand that.
The law says that you must vote and be voted for. So even if the result had showed that PDP had the majority of votes, it wouldn't have been declared because he himself as a candidate did not vote. If you say you are not voting, even before the announcement of results or before voting even commenced, that tells me that you knew beforehand that you are nowhere. How can his party win? Look at the PDP. It's in tatters at both national and state levels. In Kogi there, I was watching his declaration and the launching of his campaign. Only the governor of Osun State showed up in that campaign that he launched. No other PDP governor came there. What does that tell you? That tells me that even the PDP governors and the VIPs in PDP do not reckon with him as a credible candidate. So how is he going to win the elections? What I saw in that Kogi elections, Uncle Yori, is that the candidate of the SDP made a strong showing. And I recall that he was in the APC before. Because of the primaries that did not favor him, he had to move to SDP. And with this kind of showing I saw, he is a potential material for governorship of that state someday. If I were him, I will return back to APC and make amends with Ododo. So that perhaps after Ododo's tenure, the governorship may go to his own zone. And if it goes to his own zone, he has every chance to win there, from what I could see in those results. But if it goes the way he's going now, jumping from one party to the other, if the primary doesn't favor him, he's not likely to get there. It's a candid advice. I saw his candor, I saw his style, I saw his performance, even the statement he made that he doesn't want to go to court. That shows me that this person has some inner qualities of leadership. So let him keep it up. He should sleep over my advice and make amends with Ododo. He will get there one day. Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling in. Even Senator Dino Melaya, who made the assertion, if he's watching now, he's free to call in and, let's talk about it if he wants, so that we could just hear from him. We've heard him speaking on a different station, but throwing the baby out with the bathwater hardly seems to be the way to go. So now, if you'd like to react, Mr. Honorable Itodo, to the comments that were made, both from, I think, Mr. Wareke in Abuja and now Mr. George was calling in.
Yeah, because I've spent about 15 years consistently in the opposition political parties. And I have seen the analysis of participation in an election. For me, what is most important is that when the elections are conducted and lost, you now begin to go back to the drawing board to look at the areas that you've not done well. You look at the areas you have done well. That analysis will give you a way forward into the next 4 years. Second thing is that it is not possible. It is nearly impossible. Let me use the Bible version that says, for a rich man to go to heaven, it's like a rich man to go to heaven is compared to an elephant passing through the needle. That election that was conducted, if you look at the structural base of APC, nobody will tell you that we want to contest an election in another party to come back. It is said that you are in or you are out. The president said that he has allowed a free, fair election because he's a Democrat. But he has a party, he also has a party to protect. because the APC today is structurally balanced. You can see the president to governors to ministers and down the ladder. These are the structures of the party. And also the next party to it is the PDP. The PDP has some governors, they have senators, they have all that is required down the ladder. Do you think that it is very easy to win an election where you have a sitting governor of an APC or PDP? Look at what happened in Bayelsa. It is not possible because the structures will work for them, whether you like it or not. So are we aligned with what the caller from Lagos also said, that we must go back to the drawing board? I want to give it to Murtala Ajaka for the population, for the capacity he has displayed in that election by having a total of about 8 local governments. Beautiful. It was a contest that he actually proved himself, proved his capacity and prowess in that election. But what will give him back the integrity from the APC is to go back to the APC and begin to build himself again. In another 4 years, when we must have 4 years or 8 years, as the case might be, when this tenure of government is over, you can show your prowess, you can show your capacity and competence again. Because for me, this is a testing ground. I look at it as a testing ground because there is no newcomer in an election that will contest an election and win outrightly the 8 local governments. If he had contested in PDP or contested in APC, it would have been a different ballgame. Mm-hmm. But the parties that they are flying eventually don't have the structure to be compared to APC or whatever. What has actually happened to the PDP candidate was because of the vindictive nature of the approach into the election. To say the least, he refused to vote. And in an election that you did not participate, I don't know what you are going to prove to the judiciary. So I appeal to all of them. I appeal to all of them to look at the Kogi as a larger forum for governance. And to all of them, they have performed excellently. Very competent people. And I just wish that they will be restrained to unnecessary bickering and grievances.
Okay.
Because in the first place,
I beg your pardon, sir. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Another person has come on the line. Ada in Jos. Good morning to you, Ada.
Hello. Good morning, Mr. Yori and Honorable Ibrahim. I don't know, calling from Jos, but you say, yes, Honorable Ibrahim has spoken so well, The idea of the court deciding the winners because of litigations must be discouraged. The ballot should, to some reasonable extent, decide the winners of elections. As I speak to you now, I can count about 3 outstanding judgments now about governors, including my own governor here. I agree that there is no perfect election world over, but there are minimum standards. INEC staff involved in overvoting, bypassing the beavers and the rest of them, and any other electoral violence or any other person, position involved in electoral violence, let them be brought to justice. That is what is missing in our own. I find it so worrisome when people start referring to USA. After all, Trump with the hard issues. And the hard issue is Trump not answering for it today. Can that happen in Nigeria? That is what is lacking. You don't punish people. Nobody is held accountable. And then again, this idea of saying that because this is not substantial, so it doesn't matter whether they vote. If we continue like that, it's got to a point people will not even want to collect the PVC again. It's not fair. Allow people to vote. Don't disenfranchise. Let them vote and then count the votes. If their own candidate did not win, it's okay. But to beforehand say that it doesn't matter whether they vote or not, it doesn't matter. It's not going to affect it. It really sends the wrong signal of the way we are going. And I'm just looking forward to see the politicians that will imbibe the good Lord Jonathan spirit. I'm yet to see them. That was the year when lawyers were crying. They felt so sad that Jonathan refused to go to court because they went hungry. I want to see people imbibe that spirit, that Jonathan spirit. But INEC on the fact should also do the most it can to give us terrible election. And then again, I don't know whether the honors of proof should not be shifted to INEC because it's coming one too many. Oh, it's a less job. Okay, now I'm sorry. I wanted to say something about the runners-up. That man, when I watched him over the TV, he said he doesn't want to go to court. But he eventually said that he has no choice, that his people, his supporters, said he should go to court. And he was thinking of the next election, that if he doesn't, that he will have issues. So if they can have room for independent candidates, maybe that will help. That's what he said. So maybe he should go back and meet his people, his supporters, and talk with them. If not, I don't know. What he's saying, he has some points there too. And I'm happy the way he has. For me, in the first instance, he's supported of saying this. There was never a time I saw a contest between Dino and any other person. It was that Ajaka and the APC. Oh, it's a let's all for Nigeria.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Ada. Honorable Itodo, Ada has had her say. She brought up a number of issues. Those, of course, are for long-term consideration, including independent candidacy if necessary. And she also brought up the Jonathan option. You don't carry everything to court and all of that.
Yes. The Jonathan case is a very serious case for us to analyze continuously in an election. Because what he displayed was integrity. What he displays is the unity of Nigeria first. Because he said that winning his election does not warrant any single soul to die. It does not warrant the soul of anybody. And that was what he took into cognizance. Because before that result was announced, the other party were insinuating that blood will flow on the streets of Abuja and all other states. He said, what? How?
Okay, I think the audio froze. Yes, I think it's a network issue. I wonder if I should take Mr. Adekunle in Abeokuta. Good morning, Mr. Adekunle.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Okay, good morning. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good morning to your deputy studio.
Indeed. Thank you.
Yeah, election in Kogi and all that states that the elections were conducted has come and gone. I think people that are aggrieved about the election should please go to court. And I want to advise Senator Dino in Kogi to please stop hitting the politics. Because going around the stations, media stations, social media, and so to condemn the election that INEC conducted is not the best as far as I'm concerned. There is a provision in law that if you are aggrieved by any election, you know where to go. I think what PDP and Labour did in the last presidential election is what the same line is what Dino is trying to do. After making all the noise on social media, the TV station and all that, by the time he now get to court and the court did not favor him, he will now paint it to the public that the court is biased. Let him gather his evidence like that and go to court and let Nigeria have peace. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much for calling in, Mr. Adekunle in Abeokuta. Indeed. Well, okay. I've heard. We've all heard your submission, and as I said, Dino Melaye might be watching, or an agent of his might be watching. It would have been good to see what he says to the council of heating up the polity, and as Adekunle suggested from Abeokuta there, it's towing a line that we've passed before in the presidential, in the case of the presidential election, and this is not necessarily going to help anybody at all. Okay, you were speaking when we lost sound, Honorable Itodo. We lost sound very briefly, but we used that time to, now take Adekunle, and he was counseling anybody who is aggrieved, in this case, Senator Dino Melaye, to desist from, going around and not speaking well of the election at all. In fact, apart from not speaking well, actually speaking against the conduct of the election. Now, Wale is in Texas. This Wale that we want to speak to is our own. Good morning, Wale in Texas.
Good morning, sir.
Welcome.
Yeah, I just want to make a little contribution.
Sure.
And, this has to go to the media because the media are the one orchestrating the most problem Nigerians are facing when it comes to election. Mm-hmm. They kind of have the media. They kind of have a group on that work for the politicians. So when the politicians they cook some videos, they cook some videos, and they shoot it out online, and the media starts spreading it. We all Nigerians know how politicians play the games. They know Malaya already know it's not in the context of that election. That is why it comes up with the stop of the election sheet in the morning before the election commences. And some gullible Nigerians fall into that. They play into that. And also we need to shift our blame from INEC. INEC as an empire, they did what they have to do. INEC not the one that is hijacking ballot papers. I'm not the one putting all the kind of what everybody blaming INEC for. INEC has done what they have to do. It's Nigerians don't have to blame INEC. They have to blame the politicians. In every election, all the politicians, when they lose, they want to blame INEC. But when they win, INEC did good. That's my contribution this morning, sir.
Thank you very much, Wale, calling all the way from Texas. We appreciate it. Honorable Ibrahim Itodo, we've run out of time there, but everybody has had, well, when I say everybody, I think we've in between your very balanced and unbiased evaluation of the election, everybody would have had his own content in there, as it has been attested to by other people that called in. But the word seems to be going out to Senator Dino Melaye to take it a bit easy. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, and let us proceed as you have advised. Let us proceed for progress. Do what we want, what we can. If you want to go to court, go to court. That's what you advise, sir. And if you said, in fact, the one that would be really beautiful is come around the round table. I'm just paraphrasing your words. And I'll give you the last word, sir, as we just have less than a minute to go.
All right. Thank you very much for having me here. The major thing that is at the burning point is the peace that is needed in Kogi State, which I pray and urge the winner of the election to work on, because the unity of these three senatorial districts has been the best thing that has ever happened to us, as exemplified by the present governor, Alhaji Yahya Adoza-Bello. All that is needed is to forget about vindictiveness, revenge, anger, and whatever has happened. It is for us now, at this stage, to downplay every agitation, to downplay every challenges, to downplay every selfish interest, and let us come together, because Kogi is bigger and better than all of us put together.
That's a fine place to leave it, sir. That's a real fine place to leave it. We've completely run out of time. Kogi is indeed bigger than all its citizens. So thank you very much for coming on our program, Honorable Ibrahim Itodo. Join us tomorrow, please, for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folare. Bye-bye for now.